नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने।
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनि इति नामिने।
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे।
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
Once more. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन
वल्लभा गिरवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
Jaya Gopi Jana
गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरवरधारी
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनना रञ्जना
यशोदानन्दन
व्रज
जनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यमुनतीरावनचारी
यमुनातीरावनचारी
यमुनतीरावनचारी
Yamuna
तीरावनचारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी
Jaya Radha
राघवा कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
राम हरे
हरे
राम
राम
राम हरे
राम राम
हरे
हरे हरे हरि बोल
Okay, so we'll just go straight to Bhagavad Gita today. So we had read till 18th. Anybody has any questions or reflections from last class or last few classes? We are reading chapter 11, the universal form, Vishwa Roop Darshan Yog. So Krishna is showing his Vishwa Roop. Anybody wants to share anything? If not, we'll go forward. So right now we are reading. So Arjun is looking at Krishna's universal form and offering prayers to him, right? And we talked about, one of the things we talked about was the importance of offering prayers, because all these, so many of our Vedic literature, for example, Rig Ved we read, right, is full of stutis, prayers or hymns. Whenever demigods pray to the Lord, or great sages pray, right, they offer these Vedic hymns, or these chants, these mantras, or they make up their own prayers to offer at the lotus feet of Krishna. So those prayers, again, they are for our benefit. Whatever we offer to Krishna, whether we offer any obeisances, whether we offer any paraphernalia, right? When we do arti, we offer so many things, nirmalya, what is called. Like we offer incense or lamp or flowers or scented water, whatever we offer, or we offer bhoga. Most importantly, prayers and obeisances, right? Anybody can offer, even if you don't have anything, you can always offer obeisances and just prayers. And prayers, even if you don't know any mantras, any chant, you can always say Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And even if you don't know Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you can just say something from your heart, right? So anybody can offer prayers and obeisances to the Supreme Lord, and that will deliver us. We don't realize, we think, okay, we can't see any benefit. Krishna is not, the deity is not getting up from the altar and putting their hand on our head. So we don't see anything happening. So we think those things have no value. But just like you offer obeisances to your elders, right? We touch their feet in India, right? So imagine touching the lotus feet of Krishna. I mean, he is the Supreme Lord. His feet are not even contaminated like ours. His feet are lotus feet. They are not dirty like ours. For us, feet are the dirtiest part of the body, but this is lotus feet of Krishna. So imagine getting obeisances of offering prayers at the lotus feet of Krishna. How much benefit would that be? So not only we should collect blessings from our elders in material life, but also from Supreme Lord. And just because we don't see any benefit, don't think there is. Imagine you are getting delivered of millions of sins that we have committed over previous lives. So many sins we have committed. That is why Krishna says, right? Man manabhav mad bhakto. Who will finish this shloka? Man manabhav mad bhakto mad yaji. And then what? Namaskuru, right? Now, what is namaskar? Namaskar is to pray. Obeisances, right? Man mana, keep me in your heart, in your mind, in your man mana. मुझ में मन लगाओ, मन मना. भव मत भक्ता, become my devotee. मदयाजी, मेरा यज्ञ करो, और prayers करो, right? मदयाजी, यजन करो. And mam namaskuru. Mam evashyasi yuktvevam atmana matparayana. I'll deliver you of all the. What is the translation, Vaidehi, of the last line? What promise is Krishna making? I promise you.
Can you repeat the last line of the shloka?
Man manabhav mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru mam evashyasi yuktvevam atmana matparayana. There are two man.
Yeah, this one is the one that for the 18th chapter one, right?
Yeah, you've not learned this one?
No.
Oh.
But I think the meaning is like he'll deliver you'll come back to like Godhead, I think, I guess.
Yes. So can you recite the one that you know?
Yes. Man mana bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam vishasi satyam te pratijane priyoshi me.
Yeah, that you will come to me because you are my very dear friend. I'm telling you this truth, right? So yeah, so he says that twice. I mean, how when he repeats, when a guru repeats something, right? How important that must be, that knowledge must be. So he's saying that offer me prayers, and that is exactly what Arjun is doing. So we read one of his prayers. Let's keep reading from 19th. Anadimadyantam anantavirayam Anantabahum Shashisuryanetram
Anantabahum Shashisuryanetram
पश्यामि त्वां दीप्तहुताशवक्त्रम्
पश्यामि त्वां दीप्तहुताशवक्त्रम्
स्वतेजसा विश्वमिदं तपन्तम्
स्वतेजसा विश्वम् इदं तपन्तम्.
Okay, can somebody read this translation?
You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Hari Bol.
Bol. So Arjun is almost saying the same thing he has said before. He talked about, he's saying you have no origin, no middle or end. He has said that 2 or 3 times before also, right? And your glory is unlimited. We know that his opulences, Krishna's opulences are unlimited. Numberless arms. So he says Ananta Bahum. You saw in 16th shloka also, he said you have many, many, Anek. He says Anek Bahu Udar Vaktra Netram. You have so many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes expanded anywhere without limit. And you have no end, no middle, and no beginning. So 19th and 16th are almost same if you see. No end, no middle, no beginning. He says the same thing here. Your glories are unlimited, without limit. And then he says you have many, many arms, bellies. And then another thing he says is that there is blazing fire coming from your mouth, and it is so effulgent, so radiant that it is burning the entire universe. So he's very, very astonished looking at this huge, unlimited form of Krishna that's expanded everywhere with so many arms, eyes, bellies, mouths, heads, right? So many weapons, he said, so many clothes, mukuts or crowns. And then he says, here he says that sun and moon are your eyes, that you have become so big that such huge celestial bodies like sun and moon are nothing but just your eyes. And then he says you have this fire coming forth from your mouth. So he's basically repeating the glories. And the reason he's repeating is this is not like a poetic flaw or anything. It's just that he's so full of wonder. You know, when imagine if you looked at something very wondrous, you will keep saying the same thing over and over again to describe it. Similarly, Arjun is so bewildered, so full of ecstasy, wonder, that he's just repeating the statements over and over. So this is not a poetic or literary weakness. We shouldn't say that, oh, his prayers are, faulty. The repetition of you can keep repeating the glories of Krishna. It doesn't hurt to keep repeating the mundane things. We keep doing it over and over again, which have no benefit at all. Keep watching the same movie over and over again, keep singing the same song over and over again. Those have no benefit factually at all, and these are Krishna's glories that can be repeated over and over, and they will benefit each and every time. So he's just so full of bewilderment that he's saying the same things again and again. So I think we can move a little fast through these since these are prayers, and Prabhupada hasn't. If you see the purports given by Prabhupada, they're very short. We are just relishing this Vishvarupa that Arjun is seeing. Is that okay? Any questions about that? Okay. द्यावपृथ्व्योरिदम् अन्तरं हि
Antaram hi
व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशाश्च सर्वा
vyaptam yekin
सर्वः
दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदम्
दृष्ट्वा
दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं
तवेदम्
तवेदम्
लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन्
लोकत्रयं प्रवर्तितं महात्मन्.
Someone like to read this? Yes, Mother.
Although you are one, You spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is now he's describing how everybody is getting very disturbed. This form is very, he says, he described as a rupam ugram tavedam, that this roop of yours is very ugra, very fearsome. So everybody is getting very disturbed. So you are one, but you're spread everywhere in all the dishas, right? Dev is the outer space or like heavens. Prithvi is earth. So you and in between. And Antaram he means in between. So between the outer space, heavens, earth, you're expanding everywhere. You're vyapt everywhere. Although you are only one. You're in all the dishas. Dishas cha sarve. Everywhere I see you are there. And this is a very wonderful, adbhut drishya. This is very wonderful sight, very astonishing sight of your very fearsome form, Rupam Ugram Tavedam. And so everybody's all the planetary systems are very perturbed, like perturbed as in very fearful of this. They are very getting agitated looking at this. Who are all getting agitated? All the three lokas, all the heavenly planets, earthly planets, and lower planets. Everybody is getting very agitated, very perturbed looking at this huge expanded form. Oh Mahatma, oh Great One. So, can anyone tell me what other form of Krishna when he showed that all the demigods and everybody was very perturbed by fear and did not even want to approach him, and very ugra roop, fearsome form, that everybody was shaking in fear?
Narsinga.
Yes, Mataji. Very bold. So, so when Narsingh Dev came, right, in 7th canto of Bhagavatam, you'll see he killed Hiranyakashipu, right? So horribly, right? Pulled his guts out with his just with his nails. He pulled out with his nakhas. He pulled out all his guts out of the body, right? Putting him on his lap. So that was a very fearful, and he was roaring. He was roaring that it was shaking all the three lokas. The way he was roaring, it was not. Imagine the roar of a lion is so it shakes one's heart, right? Your hair stands on end just hearing the roar of a normal lion. Now this is Narsingha Dev, and when he was roaring, all the three lokas are shaking, and all the demigods. Imagine his own consort Lakshmi Devi was there, and she will not approach him. Everybody was saying, telling Lakshmi Devi, why don't you go and pacify your husband? She's like, I don't know, this is not my husband. My husband has a very pleasant, pleasing form. Who is this ugra, fearsome form? I don't recognize this person. I'm very scared of him. I will not go close. And Shivji and Brahmaji, everybody's scared, and they don't know what and Narsingh Dev is sitting on the throne of Hiranyakashipu, right? And he's, moving his head and roaring. He's still angry. He's still full of that anger, right? When you do some ghastly act like he did, he was still full of very much anger. So guess who did demigods choose to pacify Narsingh Dev? Who? Yes, Vedi.
Isn't it Prahlad?
Huh?
Prahlad Maharaj?
Yes, Prahlad Maharaj. So everybody just pushed Prahlad Maharaj, this little kid, 5 years old. You go pacify, you called him. So you pacify Narsingh Dev. We don't know who this. Our Lord is very, very pleasing form, very, Shyam Sundar Lalit Tribhang form, very pleasant, beautiful to look at. And he's always saying sweet words. So in this canto, you see canto 7, chapter 9. Prahlad pacifies Lord Narsingh Dev with prayers. So again, we see this is Prahlad Maharaj's prayers then start. How Prahlad Maharaj offers obeisance to Narsingh Dev and finally pacifies him. And just by looking at Prahlad Maharaj, right, his great devotee, Narsingh Dev, not with his, so like a lion's paw, right, paw or hand, whatever, has nails here, right? But this part of the lion's hand is actually paw is very soft. It is very furry, very soft. So for Hiranyakashipu, he had used his claw like this, the nails, to tear his body apart, right? But with Prahlad Maharaj, if you see the picture, he's patting his head with this part so that the nails won't touch him. He's like doing this, right? So when Prahlad Maharaj approached him, he very gently, softly patted his head, put him on his lap, and started licking him with his tongue. So that's when it is said that Krishna experienced that parental love. Oh, this parental love feels very nice, right? He felt that. So some rasa, some things that he Supreme Lord also hankers for and comes to. That's why he comes to engage in those relationships, those rasas with various pure devotees of his. So anyway, so this is again reminiscent of that, how terrible this form, how ugra this roop was, that all the three lokas were being very disturbed by this. Okay. We keep going. 21. अमीहि त्वां सूरसङ्घा विशन्ति
Amihi tvam surasanga
Vishanti.
केचिद्भिता प्राञ्जलयो गृह्णन्ति
Kechid
Kechidita
Vita
pralayo
Pranjalayo
grinati.
Grinanti.
स्वस्तीति उक्त्वा महर्षि सिद्धसङ्घा
Swasti
Yuktva
Maharti
Siddha
Siddhasangha
Sangha.
स्तुवन्ति त्वां स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः
Stuvanti
Stuvanti
Tvam
Tvam
Stutibhi
Stutibhi
Pushkalapi.
Pushkalapi.
Would someone like to read this?
I can read it.
Yes, ma'am.
All the host of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings crying, all peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns.
So, Sura Sangha. Sura means demigods, right? Asura is demons, Sura is demigods. Sura Sangha, the group of or the host of demigods, so many demigods are entering into your mouth. So I can see that so many demigods are entering, not into your mouth, are entering into you, sorry, are surrendering before you and entering into you. So, and some of them are very fearful, Kechit Bhita, some are very fearful, and some are offering prayers with folded hands, right? Pranjalyo, Anjali is like a palm, so with their folded palms, folded hands, they are offering prayers. And what are they saying? Swasti, Swasti. Maybe Prabhu remembers Swasti, right? Swasti. Do you remember? It is said those. So those. I don't know about anybody else, but when we were getting married, the priest was offering prayers, right? And every time they offer oblations into the fire, or you have to make a promise, you say Swasti, right? So swasti means all peace. So what are all the demigods saying? Swasti iti uktva. They're saying all peace, right? So if you have to like pacify somebody who's very fearsome, you'll say, please calm down, right? All peace, please calm down. So in this way, they are some are very fearful and they're offering prayers and asking all peace, And the Maharishis, the perfected beings like Siddh Purush, Siddhas, are all gathered, all surrendering to you, and all doing your stutis, stutibhi. With they're doing your prayers and chanting Vedic hymns by singing the Vedic hymns. So in this way, so you can imagine the scene that this is Virat Vishwaroop of Krishna, and all the demigods are surrounded, all the great sages are surrounded, perfected beings, Siddh Purush, so many uh, great souls are there, and they're all saying all peace, or some are fearful, some are chanting prayers, some are paying obeisances, some are offering respects and hymns. So differently in this way, everybody's being astonished at this fearful form of Krishna, right? So, so in this way, basically everybody's mood looking at this form is that of very much full of fear, full of um, not peace. That's why they're asking for all peace, right? Swasti. So they're very fearful. That is actually, so feeling fearful of somebody or something is a very low emotion, right? So when you offer prayers or obeisances to somebody out of fear, in general, like people go to, it is said in Bhagavad Gita before we read that different type of people approach Krishna, right? One of the lowest reason to approach Krishna is out of fear, right? Some people just approach, oh, Bhagwan ki puja nahi karoge to something bad will happen to you. If you don't do something for Krishna, if you don't offer something, go to temple this many times a week or something, your karma will catch up with you or something bad will happen. So that is a very low reason to approach gods or demigods or Krishna or anybody, right? Imagine a father and a son. The son is only doing what father is saying out of fear, right? But then the highest reason to do something for somebody is out of love, right? Out spontaneously, that I want to do this for you because I know this is what you like me to do. So this is out of spontaneous love. This will please my father if I do this. Whereas one is, oh, he will hit me or he will punish me if I do this. That's out of fear, right? And in the middle, the other reason. So fear is the lowest one. Then the other people that go, some just go to clarify their doubts, right? Curious people. Some go out of duty. Okay, Krishna has given us so much, or God has given us so much, so we should also do something in return. So that is just like out of obligation or out of duty. And then the next one is to fulfill your desires. Okay, I want something in return. I will give you this much and you give me. I'll give you coconut, I'll give you bhoga, and please fulfill this wish for me. So out of desires. But the highest reason to approach God is out of love, right? But here the mood is that of everybody is very fearful. Is that okay? I think we've talked about those stages. Okay. 11.22. रुद्रा आदित्या वसवो ये च साध्या
रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्या
विश्वनो मरुतश्चोमपाश्च
विश्वेश्विनो मरुतश्चोष्माश्च
गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्घा
गन्धर्वयक्षासुरासेदसङ्घा
वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे
वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे
Can somebody read this?
All the
Read this,
various
Matthew. Go ahead.
all the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas and the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvedevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, the perfected demigods are beholding you and wonder.
Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. Prabhupada has not given any purport to this. That various great souls, Mahatmas, various demigods, so many people, manifestations of Lord Shiva. There are so many Rudras, right? There are so many Adityas or sons of Aditi. Like there are 12 sons of Aditya. Vasus, so many Vasus, Sadhyas, Vishwadevas, Ashwini Kumaras, Marutas, right? So many, and then forefathers, Gandharvas, Yakshas. So basically, living entities that are residing on other planets, on other heavenly planets, the denizens of other planets. Those Gandharvas and Yakshas live on other heavenly planets, right? Siddhas, all they are grouped together, all their hosts have assembled together, and they're very vismit, they're very astonished and wonder. They are looking at you, beholding you in wonder. Vikshantitvam, that they are looking at you with great wonder. Okay, so many people are actually looking. Okay, we'll do the next one. 23. Rupam mahate bahuvak netram. I'm sorry.
रूपं महते बहुवक्त्रनेत्रं
Mahate Bahuvaktra
Mahaba. I think we have to sing in the other tune again.
Mahabaho bahu bahurupadam.
महाबाहो बाहु बाहुरुपादं
Bahudram.
Bahudaram bahudamstrakaralam.
बहुदूरं बहुदृष्ट्वा करालम्
Drishtva loka pravayati hastastatham.
Drishta
लोका
Yate Tastatam.
Thank you. Okay, Mataji, who was trying to read before?
I can read it, Mataji.
Yes,
Hari Bol. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. Hari Bol.
Very good. So he's again saying similar things, right? Mahabhao is the mighty armed one, right? All the planets with their demigods. So all the planets, all the demigods, all the living entities, they are disturbed at seeing this great form. And then again, in this form, which has so many stomachs or udars, so many bellies, so many damshtra. Damshtra means teeth, so many teeth. And this word is to be noted here. Karalam, Karalam word will come again. Just like Ugram, Karalam also means horrible or fearful form, right? Karala means horrible. Drishtva Loka, all the people are watching, all the demigods are looking at this form and very, very disturbed, pravitit, in a very disturbed situation looking at this. They're very fearful. What is going on? Is God really angry at us and going to destroy what is going on, right? They're very disturbed at seeing your great form. So all these bahu netram, bahu vaktra. Vaktra means face, netra means eyes. So many eyes, so many faces, so many arms and bellies. That roop is a very karalam. Damshtra word you've heard in context with another lord. Can somebody recite that verse which has damshtra word? Damshtra means teeth. Let's see who remembers.
The nursing
Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya.
Can you recite that? Do you remember?
Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsinghaya. Namaste Jase Tejase Avir Avir Bhava Vajranaka Vajradamstram Karma Shayana Randhaya Randhaya Namo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhyam Abhyam Atmani Bhuyishta Om Kroma.
Om Shram.
Hari Bol. Wow. Good job, Vaidehi. So yeah, Damshtra, basically in that also, Narsingh Dev's form is being glorified, right? Those Vajra means like thunderbolt. Those nails and teeth that are like Vajra, that are like thunderbolt, right? They grant Abhay or fearlessness to the devotees. So the devotees are not feared. Like Prahlad Maharaj was not afraid of Narsingh Dev's form. So the devotee is not, he feels completely abhay or fearless looking at Lord's forms, any form. But others, everybody else is getting disturbed. And actually, Arjun is saying, so am I. Because Arjun is used to seeing this pleasant, pleasing form of Krishna that he doesn't like this huge, big Karal roop. Okay, we'll keep reading a few more because these prayers will go on till 31st, and after 32nd verse, Krishna will start speaking. We'll try to read till 31st today. And from 26th shloka, Arjun will start seeing the future outcomes of the war, what is going to happen. He'll just see in the Virat form what is going to happen in the future in this war. But next two verses also almost describing the Virat Roop again. 24. नभास्पृशं दीप्तनेकवर्णम्
नाभास्पृशमनेकवर्णम्
व्यासातन्ननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रम्
व्यासाननं
दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा
दृष्ट्वा हि
धृतिं न विन्दामि शमं च विष्णौ
धृतेन वेदामि
Vishnu.
Okay, who wants to read? Avinash, Abhishek, who you want to read?
Hare Krishna. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with many radiant color touching the sky, your gaping mouth and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of my mind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he's saying that again that you're all pervading, and you're so many colors coming from you that are touching the sky, gaping mouths, right, open mouths, and great glowing eyes, big eyes. So I'm getting my mind or my antaratma, he says, antaratma is getting disturbed. Pravithit, like the pravithit word was used last time also. By looking at this form, I'm getting disturbed, no longer able to maintain my steadiness, O Vishnu. So I don't think much to discuss here, but he's just feeling fearful of this form and describing, and he wants Krishna to resume his normal form. Let's read one more and discuss a little. दंष्ट्राकरालानि च ते मुखानि
Mukhani
दृष्ट्वेव कालानलसन्निभानि
Drishta
दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्मा
दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्मा
प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास
प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
Okay. Someone like to read this? Abhishek, you want to read?
O Lord of Lords, O refugee of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance seeing thus see your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions I am bewildered. Rebol.
So again, he's describing his teeth, looking at your teeth, such huge, horrible teeth, and all these faces, mukhani. Kala anal. So kal means time, right? Or death, right? Kal means death. Anal means arm. So the fire of death coming from all these death-like faces. I am losing my calm, losing my equilibrium. So please be pleased. He's saying, be pleased, proceed. Please be happy or calm. O Devesha, O Lord of Devas or controller, Isha of Devs, O Lord of Devas, Jagan Nivasa. Jagan Nivasa means refuge of the worlds. Yes, Nirbhay Prabhu, you're sharing something?
Yeah, no, I was just it made me wonder why does Arjuna in praising the Lord keeps mentioning the terrible, the terrible teeth, the dangerous form, the so scary, so usually we don't typically associate them with praising somebody.
So this is so when I was hearing to a couple of devotees that I've heard from these lectures, this is why Bhagavad Gita is called confidential knowledge, right? Because somebody can read it and we'll just look at the universal form and be very full of wonder and astonishment at looking at this universal form, right? But if you are reading with the devotee or reading under the guidance of a devotee, you will understand that actually the universal form is not the highest form. It is not very pleasing. It is actually Krishna has referred to it as Karal or Ugra, those things, right? So, and we understand that fear is a low emotion, right? So we don't want to go to somebody out of fear, out of because we are so scared of this huge, humongous, astonishing form. That is why we don't want to go to them. So so that means that the original form of Krishna that Arjun was always associating with the ordinary two-handed form, the original form of Krishna was much more pleasing, where he could exchange love, sakhyaras, all kind of. He could sit with him, he could eat with him, he could play with him, and he will say these things. I have done all those things with you, right? He'll say next few shlokas, please he apologizes that I have insulted you, even I've made fun of you in that form. So in that form, so many relationships are possible, and that is the highest. Love is always, we understand that between fear and love, which is the higher emotion, right? That love is higher emotion. With which form are you able to exchange love? With the two-handed original form of Krishna. This form is, so that is why this form is so bewildering, because this form nobody has ever seen before. Even demigods that are always praying to Krishna, they are only used to this pleasing form of Krishna with whom they can openly share their heart with, openly have exchanges and relationships with. So same with great sages and other devotees, sadhyas, right? Sadhyas was mentioned, sadhaks. All devotees like to exchange relationships with the ordinary original form of Krishna, not with the. That's why this form is very uh, fearful to them. Imagine like in a household, right? A dad is very loving, nice, and you're having so much fun with them. You play with them. He does things with you. Then one day he gets very angry. The father gets very very upset, right? The child would be scared, right? What has happened to my father? He's usually such a nice, loving fellow. What has happened to him? Why is he showing this ugra karal form? Where did all these teeth and nails and faces and everything? I've never seen this face before of you, my father, right? So that is a lower emotion, right? Which means that the original form or that emotion of love and sakya that Arjun was exchanging was higher. So in this way, we can understand that Bhagavad Gita is also telling us that yes, this you can see the Vishwaroop to tell other people that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, but that is not the form that is prayed in temples. That is not the deity or Vigraha that we do seva of, right? That is not the deity that is in the altar. On our altar, on all your altars, which form of Krishna do we have? We have the pleasant, beautiful two-handed form, right? Because that's the one we can have relationship with. That is the original form of Krishna. So this is the Ugra Roop. This is to ensure Arjun that look, don't worry about the outcome of the war. All these people you see in front of you, Bhishma, Drona, Dhritarashtra's sons, all the 100 sons, they'll all go into my mouth because I'm Kal. So he's showing this Kal Roop. This Roop is also sometimes referred as Kal Roop, because it is showing how all the living entities, so many things are going. And we'll read in next 2 or 3 shlokas when Krishna starts showing the outcomes of the war, how people are stuck in his teeth. That is a very ugra, very horrible form, right? Their heads are stuck in his teeth and stuff. That is not somebody you will have relationship with. So our relationship is with the Shyam Sundar form of Krishna, right? Krishna in Vrindavan. So that is the form we have on our altar that we pray to. When we chant, that is the form we think of. So that is why Bhagavad Gita is such a confidential knowledge, because unless we understand in the right parampara, we'll just imagine God to be this all pervading, Yes, he's all pervading, that is one aspect. But the pure devotees always relish the Bhagwan aspect of Krishna, the Purush aspect of Krishna. That is why when Brahmaji prays, he says, Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Maham Bhajami. Govinda, the cowherd boy, the one who takes care of cows. Govindam Adi Purusham. Is that okay for you? Anybody else has any? Questions? Okay, so he's bewildered. Okay, so now in next 5 shlokas, he will start seeing, because Krishna has told him you can see anything in this form. So in next 5 shlokas, he will start seeing the future outcomes of the war, right? So far, Arjun looked at this astonishing form of the Lord. He described it. He understood how he's supreme. He offered him prayers. He described his one astonishment at this. Now he'll see the Kal Roop, the destruction of various living entities happen with this form. Yes. Okay, so these 2 verses are together because we'll see who all are going into the mouth of this, who are all are getting destroyed in this form. Ami cha tvam dhritarashtrasya putra
Ami cha tvam dhritarashtrasya putra
sarve sahevavani sangai
sarve sahevavani
Sanghe
Bhishmo drona sutaputrastathaso
Bhishmo
Bhishmo
drona
Drona
putrastathaso
Sutaputrastasaso
Sahasmadiyerapi yodhamukhe
saha madhye
Sahasmadhyerapi
pramukhe
Yodhamukhe
Vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti
Vakrani
Vakrani te
tvaramana
tvaramana vishanti
Damshtra karalani bhayanakani
Damshtakaralani
Damshtrakaralani
bhayanakani
Keched vilagna dashanantareshu
Kechidilagna
Darshanantareshu
dashnantareshu
Sandreshyante churniter uttamangai
Sandreshyante
Sandrishyante
churnitarera
Churnitairamuttamanghe.
Did Avni see her name in the shloka?
Avani.
You didn't see?
Magar.
I was highlighting it. It comes in Queen Kunti's prayers also. Okay. Who wants to read this? So those 2 big shlokas are in the.
I'll read it.
Yes, Prabhu.
All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their all allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. Hare Krishna.
Head smashed between your teeth. Very, sorry. Okay. So here they're saying sons of Dhritarashtra, right? Dhritarashtrasya putra. And they're allied kings like Saheva, Avnipala. Avnipala is basically referred to warrior kings. Does Avni mean warrior? Is that no? What does Avni mean? Earth, right? Right. Okay. So here you're saying Avnipala, warrior kings, the groups of allied kings that helped Dhritarashtra's sons, and then Bhishmo, Drona, Sutputra, right, which is Karan, all these, and various soldiers, chief warriors like Yodha Mukhe means the chief warriors, and not just of this side, but of the other side, soldiers will also enter into the fearful mouths of this Virat form, Vishwaroop, entering into your fearful mouths. So he says they're all entering into your fearful mouths, and some are stuck between those big Bhayanak, he says Bhayanakani. So Bhayanak teeth, between those horrible big teeth, very fearful teeth, very terrible Kharal teeth. Those some of those chief warriors are stuck, their heads smashed in your mouth. So he can see all of this. So now he's seeing what will be the outcome of those people that were on the side of Adharma, right? All these people that decided to help uh, the sons of Kaurava, the Kauravas, what will happen to them? So many prominent warriors are dying. So that is what happens to people that are following the path of irreligiousness or adharma, right? Krishna. So we've actually for 2 minutes talk about this. We have talked about how the death feels to somebody who is irreligious or somebody who is not Krishna conscious, somebody who's not God conscious, versus somebody who is a devotee, right? Um, what happens when somebody irreligious, sinful, who's just always engaged in sense engagement, sense gratification, material engagements die? They're just stuck in the cycle of birth and death, right? They also see Krishna, but they see Krishna in the form of death, right? Form of death means who will come to get them? Yamdutas, right? Yamdutas will come. Whereas those that are on the path of God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, devotion, trying to follow a religious path, a dharma, right? Dharma. They are trying to align their material activities also with the spiritual path, right? Trying to make their conditional duties also constitutional. Those will, who will they see at the end of their life? They'll see Krishna. They'll see Vishnu Dutas will come to get them, right? Not Yamdutas, right? So death will happen to both. Nobody can be spared from death. Death will come for both. But in Bhagavatam, for example, it is said that those people that are following the path of Krishna consciousness, with every rising and setting of the sun, they are getting closer to Krishna. Whereas other people are just getting closer to Kal, right? Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone except one who utilizes the time by discussing the topics of the all good personality of Godhead. So those that are engaging in various limbs of devotional service, right? Except for those, for everybody else, with every birthday, they are just losing their life. They are getting closer to death. But devotees are getting closer to Krishna with every year that they are losing life, right? So one of the famous analogies is given. We have talked about this before. Some of you may remember. One of the famous analogies is given of cat, right? Cat. How does she hold a kitten in her mouth? She holds the kitten in her mouth, and she holds a rat in her mouth as well, right? But the rat is very horrified. He's very fearful because he knows that cat is going to eat him. He's going to enter into the mouth, those horrible teeth of the cat, and he will be destroyed, right? And the kitten is also in the mouth of cat. She's also carrying her little baby kitten, but she's holding him in such a way that he feels very warm, very fuzzy, very cared and protected for, right? He knows that this is his mother. She's going to take care of him. She's going to lick him, give him food, right? So that is the situation of a devotee, right? Who's following a religious path. He feels like that kitten. He doesn't feel like he's stuck in the teeth of a cat. No, he feels, okay, this is my mother. She's going to take care of me. He feels warm and fuzzy. Whereas others are feeling like a rat, right? They're stuck in the teeth and just waiting for their death to happen. And that is why death is so fearful for everybody. Death, the fear of unknown, because we don't know what we're dealing with. So that tells us the importance of following this path. Everybody will end up just what you saw happen to Sutputra or Bhishma or Drona or other warriors, right? Anybody wants to share anything about that? Right? So this is why we are, making sure that we accept Krishna as our Supreme Father. So when we go back to Him, we know that we are going back to Him as when our life ends. We will be cared for, protected, we'll enjoy with Him rather than be punished by Him, rather than be stuck in the cycle of birth and death and come back in a different species. So we're talking about you may think, okay, Sunday morning I'm wasting my time listening to this class for an hour and a half, huh? But actually, you just read in that shloka, right? People that are engaging their time in the pastimes of Krishna, listening to the qualities of Krishna, their names, their forms, what will happen to them? They'll be going back to Godhead. This is actually the best use of the time. Yes, Madhu, you sharing something?
I have a question. So, Medika, even Bhishma Dev is going into the mouth. So how should we understand that? because he was a Mahajan.
Yes, Mataji. So you're right, he is a great devotee, right? But right now, he will also be uh, destroyed because he's still on the side of adharma. He will also be destroyed, participating in the Leelas of Krishna. But for this particular scene, he will be destroyed as well. He will not be emerging victorious. He will be on the side of loss. He will be he's on the side of adharma right now, right? So we understand that he's a Mahajan and he's engaging in this Veera Ras with Krishna because Krishna did need somebody strong on the other side to fight. Otherwise, it will be one-sided war, right? That is why, like Lord Balram, for example, is not in the war. Because if Lord Balram was on the war, or Krishna was in the war. Actually, Krishna is not fighting either, right? If Krishna was fighting or Lord Balram was fighting, that's it. There is no war. So for people to have a good relishing pastimes for us to see, there has to be strong people on both sides that can engage. That's why Karna has so many benedictions given to him that Arjun cannot easily defeat him, right? Karna had so many benedictions given to him as well. So in this way, right now, for this particular war, Bhishma is the chief. Actually, he is the what do you call Senapati, uh, the first chief actually for this war. So he will be also destroyed, just like anybody else that was on that side. And there were casualties on both sides, but none of the Pandavas will be destroyed. So Mataji, this is just for the to understand that anybody who is on the side of irreligion, who who does not uphold the scriptural injunctions, who is not on Krishna's side, will enter into, will see Krishna, will meet Krishna as Kal. So that is what Arjun is seeing. Okay, and he's feeling very confident now after this war that I can win. So that is the purpose of Krishna giving the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, that Arjun will be able to carry out his duty nicely. So he can see that everybody is going to die. You have nothing to fear. Is that okay, Mataji? Okay, let's read, if you're okay, try to finish this part of Arjun's prayers. Okay, we read this one from Bhagavatam. This is an important shloka, everybody. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Number 28. Yatha nadinam bhavo ambuvega
Yatha nadina bhuvega
samudramevabhimukha dravanti
samudramevabhimukha dravanti
तथा तवामि नरलोकवीरा
तथा तवामि नरलोकवीरा
विशन्ति वक्त्राणि अभिविज्वलन्ति
विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिज्वलन्ति.
Okay, somebody read this. Raina, you want to read? Or Pooja Mataji? Pooja Mataji, please go ahead.
Yes. As the many waves of rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouth.
Very bold. So we already talked about this, right? Just like rivers flow into the ocean, right? They have no choice. Rivers have no choice. They are flowing into the ocean directly. They cannot change their course. They have to follow that course and will end up in the ocean. Similarly, all these great warriors are entering into your blazing mouths. So similarly, whoever is on the path of irreligion, whoever is not following the dharma, will enter into your blazing mouth, just like rivers go into the ocean. They have no choice. They don't get to decide. They'll just enter into the Kal Chakra. They'll just enter into your blazing mouth. Okay, 29. It's about the similar thing Arjun is saying again. Yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga
यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतङ्गा
विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगा
विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोका
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः
स्वपि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगा
स्तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः.
Very bold. Okay, another nice analogy by Arjun. Who wants to read this? Puja Mata, you want to read again?
Yes, Mataji. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire.
Very bold. So now, before he gave the example of rivers going into ocean, now he's saying moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. Moths are so attracted by the light of the fire that they don't know that when they enter into this, they'll be destroyed. And if you see the shloka, this word Samriddha Vega has been used twice here. Samriddha Vega. Samriddha Vega means with full speed. So we think we have so much time in our life, right? We think time is going so slow, but actually time is running by very, very fast. It is not slow. We say, okay, we will delay this. What is the need to do this today? We'll do this tomorrow. We'll do this 5 years later. Let me just focus on my career right now. Let me just focus on my studies right now. Let me just make a house right now, or I'm going to move to a different city. Then I'll do this. When I get to 60 years of age, then I'll do this. But no, we are rushing into the mouth of fire with full speed. So this is not just the fate of the Kauravas. This is the fate of all of the living beings, right? Everybody is rushing into the mouth of Kal with full speed, which is like blazing fire that will destroy that moth. So if we don't get a handle of time, just start using our time wisely, divide our material and spiritual duties and time, and start giving some time more to spiritual activities, to Krishna, to Dharma, then the time will help us. Krishna will say, you will see, Krishna says, time I am, Kalo Asmi. So he's the time, he'll help us. So if we don't manage our time, then time will run out. It is running out very, very fast. Okay. So all of you, especially kids, are very, very fortunate that you have already started the process and on this path, and you're managing your studies, your recreational activities, your hobbies, and learning this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. This is very, very important, as you can see. Otherwise, time runs out. People don't even realize. Before you know, you are old. You cannot see. Your bowels don't work. Your bladder doesn't work. You're not able to eat anything. You're not able to even sit properly. You have arthritis. So many things happen. So time runs out very, very quickly. Let's read just one or two, and I think then till 31. So let's read two more, and then Arjun's prayers will end. 30. लेल्यस्य ग्रस्माना समन्ता
लेलिहर्षे ग्रस्मानः समन्ता
लोकान् समग्रान् वदने ज्वालन्ति
लोकान् समग्रान् वन्दनाद्भिः
तेजोभिरापुर्या जगत् समग्रम्
तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रम्
भासास्तवोग्रा प्रतपन्ति विष्णु
भासास्तवोग्रा प्रतपन्ति विष्णु.
Okay. Priya Mataji, are you available?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Oh Vishnu, I see you are devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouth, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. Hari Bol.
Okay, so same thing. So all these people are getting devoured, means getting eaten by you with your flaming mouths, and you're spread everywhere with your scorching rays. You're manifest with those terrible scorching rays. Let's read one more.
O Lord of Lords, so first of all, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisance unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. Haribol.
Let's recite this very quick. आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपो
आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्ररूपो
नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद
नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद
विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यम्
विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यम्
न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्
न हि प्रजानामि स्वप्रवृत्तिम्.
Okay, so Arjun is just asking a couple of questions that, oh Lord of Lord, in this fierce form, who are you? Please tell me who you are. And he's paying obeisances, namostute. And please tell me what your mission is. What is your mission? So he's asking two questions: who you are, and what your mission is. And we'll see what Krishna will say, what his mission is, and who he is. I already told you, he's going to say who you are. He's going to say, you can read. Let's read just the translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, time I am. He says, Kalo Asmi, the great destroyer of the worlds. And I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. So he's saying that I'm time. I'll destroy everybody. So that is what we'll see at the end of life. Krishna in the form of time, in the form of Kal, will destroy everybody. Everything is Krishna's energy only. Time is also Krishna's energy. Death, in the form of death, time devours everybody. So let's not waste any time. And I know you all are not, but sometimes we just have to tell ourselves that what we are doing. A lot of times we get doubts. Maybe I'm wasting my time, but not wasting our time. If you're okay, I'll tell a quick story. Some of you may be familiar with the story, but so once upon there was a man. He was a rishi actually. He was a great sage. He was traveling. You know how they are mendicants. They don't stay in one place. They keep traveling. So he was traveling, and he made a stop at one village. He stopped at one village. Outside the village, before he entered, he saw that there were many. You know how they have they have graveyard with the tombstone, and every tombstone has a name written on it, right, with their age, like they were born from 1960 to 2020, something like that will be written, right? So in this way, there were some stones with the names of people written and their ages was written. And he just stopped curiously to look at these stones. I mean, they were not tombstones, but let's call them tombstones for now, to read what was written on them. And he read there were so many names on each tombstone, and there was ages written. And on each he saw, then ages was like somebody had died 5 years old, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 10 years, very, very short ages were written. They were not written in years, they were written just in 5 years, it just said. 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 15 years, 10 months. You're saying that what is the problem in this village? Why are people dying so young? These people are very young, the ages that are written here. So he thought, okay, let me go inside and check. So he went into the village, asking for bhiksha, just like rishis do, sannyasis do. And he found one was like landlord or zamindar or somebody like that, one of the elders of the town, and he saw actually there were many older people walking around in the village. He said, these people do look older, so why are these people outside their ages so young? Are these all kids that died? What happened? So he asked one of the elder people that I saw all these stones outside your village with all these young ages mentioned on them. Somebody died at 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, 10 months. What is going on? There are so many older people here. Why are people dying so young? So he said actually that is not their lifespan that's mentioned on the tombstones. That is not how long they lived. That is the time the mention on tombstones is what they spent in doing Harikatha. This is the or any limbs of devotional service. So all that time, we are all very, very Krishna conscious people here. And we calculate our time very wisely. So whatever time we did devotional service, whether we did arti or kirtan or reading or hearing or chanting, that is the compiled time that is mentioned on those tombstones. So imagine, I mean, these were very Krishna conscious people, and despite being so conscious of their time, somebody is able to do Harikatha for only 5 years out of their whole life. The life may be of 70 to 80 years or more, right? Out of that, you've only spent like 5 years or 10 years doing Harikatha, actually, the condensed time. So that is not much. And we have so much time that we need to do other activities. We have to sleep, we have to eat, we have to do some recreation, right? We have to spend time with our family, other things. So the time for Harikatha is actually very, very little. But people that are conscious of this will actually not waste their time, and that is the only time that will matter. That is what that elder told the rishi, that that is the only time actually that matters. To after death, it doesn't matter how much you slept, how much you worked, how much you ate, whatever else you did, how much you took care of your body. None of those things will matter. Yes, you need to do those things, no doubt, but the actual time that will carry on with you, that will matter, is that Harikatha we did. So, and that is why we just mentioned that time on the tombstone, because that is the only time that matters in a person's life. So, just wanted to share that. I like that story a lot. Okay, we'll stop for today. Anybody has any questions? Or want to share anything? Okay, so let's not waste any time then and start chanting. Is that okay? And when we are chanting, let's try to chant. Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः गुरुवारचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय भक्ताय नमो नमः श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, भगवद गीता की
जय
वेद गौर भक्तवृंद की
जय।
Thank you everybody.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, everybody.